Hello, and welcome to an Introduction to Copyright from the University of Alberta's Opening Up Copyright Instructional Module series. You've definitely heard the word, and it is one of the most recognizable marks in the world. But what exactly is copyright? Copyright, as the name suggests, is a legal right, but it is more complicated than just the right to copy. The Government of Canada's Canadian Intellectual Property Office defines it as follows. Copyright is the exclusive legal right to produce, reproduce, sell or license, publish or perform an original work or a substantial part of it. So what does that mean? Well, for example, when a book is published, sold, copied, adapted into a film, etc., copyright has to be considered. Theoretically, copyright is supposed to encourage the creation of new original works by providing an economic incentive to the creators of those works. It limits economic uses of those works by anyone except the rights holder, enabling creators to receive compensation for the copying and use of their work. Copyright is a limited monopoly that functions as a legal right to exclude. And just what is a right to exclude? Well, the copyright holder of a book has the legal right to sue someone who makes a copy or adapts it into a film without their permission. With copyright law, it is the threat of infringement and legal penalties associated with infringement that prevent or limit uses. So what kind of works are protected by copyright? Most types of original creative content, including literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic works, are protected. It is important to note that copyright applies to the expression of an idea and not the idea itself. These expressions are covered under copyright if they are original, in the sense that they are not slavishly copied, have originated from the creator, and require at least a little bit of intellectual effort, and if they are in fixed form. Original emails, cell phone pictures, software code, screenplays, sculptures, and even texts can all be works that are subject to copyright protection. Whether you know it or not, you are a creator, and there are works that you already hold the copyright for. That's because copyright is something that happens automatically when you create an original work. While registration is available, it's not required. Whether it's a short story you've poured your heart into, a voice memo on your phone, or a finger painting you did as a child, you automatically hold the copyright for the original works you've created. And you have to think about how these rights might impact you, both as a copyright holder and as a user of others' copyright-protected works. Did you know there are both economic and moral rights associated with copyright? It's important to understand that economic rights can be transferred to another person or company, such as a publisher, who then becomes the economic rights holder of the original work. Therefore, the rights holder may or may not be the creator. Your favorite musician likely signed away their copyright to get that big record deal. Moral rights, the right of a creator to be associated with the work and preserve the integrity of the work, cannot be transferred, although they can be waived. Additionally, the rights in works that you have made over the course of your employment are normally held by your employer. Copyright allows the rights holder alone, or exclusively, to determine how works can and cannot be used in most cases. In Canada, copyright is governed by the Copyright Act, which is a piece of federal legislation that, like all legislation, is intended to serve the public interest. This act, in particular, attempts to do this by maintaining a balance between encouraging creators to produce and distribute new works and encouraging the public to use and benefit from those works. Exceptions to infringement, like fair dealing, are an important component of this balancing act. This commitment to balance is also one of the reasons copyright doesn't last forever. It has a specific term of protection, allowing for broad public use of the works after that term has ended. Parliament is not the only player, though. Over the years, Canadian courts, up to and including the Supreme Court of Canada, have provided decisions that shape our understanding of copyright law in Canada. In particular, these legal precedents, also known as jurisprudence, have had a major impact on how we understand the permitted or legally defensible uses of copyright-protected works. Copyright is administered at a national level. Sometimes people make reference to international copyright law, but there is really no such thing. While there are international treaties that aim to provide common rules for countries, what happens in Canada is governed by Canadian copyright law. U.S. copyright law is similar, but not the same as Canadian copyright law. So copyright is a legal exclusionary right that gives the rights holder of that right, who may or may not be the creator, the ability to control certain uses of works or content. There are limitations to this legal right to control the uses of works. The Canadian Copyright Act and courts have given users certain limited rights to do things with copyright-protected works as well. And the point of all this is to serve the public interest through a balance that encourages the creation of new works as well as promoting the social benefits that arise from the use of those works by the public. That's a good starting point, but there's a lot more to learn. Luckily, there are numerous other modules to help further explore copyright. Or if you need a bit of help understanding the whole Opening Up Copyright series, see our introductory module. You should now be able to define key terms, including copyright, rights holder, and creator. Recognize that copyright includes both economic and moral rights. Identify the balance of user and creator rights as a fundamental principle of copyright. And understand that copyright in Canada is governed by federal law, specifically the Copyright Act and the decisions by Canadian courts. This has been an Introduction to Copyright from the University of Alberta's Opening Up Copyright instructional module series. Thank you for your attention.